If I'm honest, I find that I am often the most lonely at Christmas. Not after sympathy. I'm okay with it. I've let it go. I don't get hung up on it and I've accepted it, which makes it easier. But especially being a single parent and especially not having a massive family, it definitely feels really quite isolating at Christmas. And it's been lonely and isolating for quite a while. It would definitely be most of my adult life at Christmas. I wouldn't say I had a lonely Christmas when I was a child, quite happy with Christmas as a child, got things that I asked for. They weren't ever big occasions as a child, but they were celebrated and they were lovely. It would just be me and my sister and my parents, and sometimes we go and see my nan and granddad. There was lots of elements to it, but not necessarily big things. There weren't big occasions, there weren't big parties. But we did go to pantomimes quite often as a child, which I really quite liked. And I try and do that actually with my son, which is quite good. But I think for me it's the expectations, it's the hype, it's the extendedness of the holiday season. It's the playing of music, the films, the adverts that start in November, sometimes even before my birthday. My birthday's on the 21st. Often it's then that Christmas starts, and that feels like such a long time to be talking about Christmas, especially if you're somebody that doesn't have a big Christmas. They are quite gut-wrenching moments when you constantly see these expectations on films, on adverts, where everybody has this perfect Christmas, big parties, games, laughs, lots of fun happening, and that's just not how my Christmas has looked as an adult. And I've always found that quite hard to comprehend. I've not been in a happy place to be able to feel like I'm having that kind of expectation. And I shouldn't be putting that expectation on myself as well. And it's all about painting this perfect Christmas, isn't it? The expectation of being out with friends, with being out with work colleagues, having big Christmas do's, buying lots of presents, receiving lots of presents, and having lots of food. And it's never been like that for me. I think the one thing that's helped the most is just reminding myself that it's just one day. So I kind of ignore Christmas to a certain extent up until Christmas. I accept that Christmas Day is actually just the one day and it doesn't matter. And then it's over with after that day. So that's kind of my way of coping with it. And I think it's because I've never really had much money, so Christmas has always been very tight. In my early adult years, I would say it was okay. I have been in a relationship since I was 18, so it's only like the last 6 years that I've not been in a relationship for Christmas. But it didn't start feeling good until I had my son. And I think when he was about maybe between 3 and 5 was when it first started becoming magical, and having Christmas being about the kids, it makes it a bit nicer, it makes it magical, and it gives Christmas a purpose, whereas before I didn't have a purpose and felt kind of a little bit, I don't know, just not really felt that magical around that time. So that was when Christmas was quite nice, but obviously he's older now. But my marriage ended and I have been a single parent for maybe nine years. I think it's 9 years I've been a single parent now. So Christmas is very different as a single parent. I think it felt okay up until that point, and then after that point it very much felt like I was forgotten. I didn't get anything because for Christmas I stopped getting things as soon as I had a child, because then everybody would just buy for the child, which seems madness because they have so much. But I never really got anything, so I would buy myself something, only small because I didn't have very much money ever. I think I was a student for student for quite a few years of that, and when I first became a single parent I was still a student, so money was very tight. So I'd buy myself a little something, maybe like a small perfume or something, and that would be it. That would be as much as I really got. I would get given money from family members and stuff, and cards and little gifts, or like chocolates and stuff, but I've never really been spoiled, which I sound very spoiled for saying that. It feels a bit weird. I don't know, I think it's because this expectation was put on from everything around us that you're supposed to have lots of presents and lots of things and lots of magical moments. Just didn't ever get that, so it felt like I wasn't getting anything because the expectation was so high. But as a single parent, it was definitely lonely. I did go quite quickly into another relationship, but we weren't living together or anything like that. But we did have some Christmases together, which were quite nice. It only lasted for a couple of years, and the catalyst for me was that he ended the relationship a week before Christmas, and I'd gone quite big for Christmas. I'd bought lots of presents for him, and he hadn't bought me anything, funnily enough. Says it all. But he ended it a week before Christmas, and that was just devastating for me. I try not to cry. So that Christmas was pretty dark. I didn't do Christmas, and thankfully I didn't have my son that Christmas. Although potentially that would have been a good distraction. I was devastated. I thought he was the one, rest of my life together kind of thing. So yeah, that Christmas I didn't go anywhere. I didn't go to see family. I didn't celebrate. I chucked my tree out into the garden before Christmas, and I think I spent Christmas Day hemming my curtains that I needed to do, because we'd literally just moved in together a couple of months before, and then he left. So yeah, the feeling of having to do Christmas was quite overwhelming. That Christmas tree stayed in my garden until I think April or May. It finally went to a recycle centre because I couldn't function. I wasn't really in any fit state. And one thing that it really taught me was how amazing friends could be. I had one of my best friends come round on Christmas Day, and she was amazing and lifted me up and just kind of kept me together, and it helped me work out who were my good friends and who weren't in that time, because lots of people, obviously due to a breakup, would disappear out of your life, which is ironic because that's the one time you need them and they go. But I had some really fantastic friends that were amazing at helping me, so I was very thankful for that, and yeah, don't know what I would have done without them. And that was a really tough time because I was a brand new teacher. I was in my first term as an NQT, so it was already pretty stressful, and I wasn't really getting any support at home, so it was a tough time. I think because of the time of year that it was and how impactful it was, it made Christmas really difficult after that. The lead up to Christmas is incredibly difficult. Has been for the first couple of years at least after that. That was about 6 years ago now. So I'm in a better place. But that's because I've worked on my mental health, and I've worked on understanding me, what I like, and changing my expectations of what Christmas should be and could be. I think I decide pretty much how I want Christmas to look maybe a couple of months before, where I want to be, how I want to do it, who I want to be around, and then I plan from there. So I don't build up expectations that are unrealistic or that I don't want to do. So I very much choose Christmas to be how I want it to be, and Christmas Day in particular, I do things that I want to do. So if I want to go for a walk somewhere, I will go for a walk somewhere. If I want to watch non-Christmas films quite randomly, then I will do. I won't sit and watch Christmas films quite that often unless I'm having a good day or if I'm feeling in a good mood. But I think there are some films that I just can't watch at this time of year. But I've got better at enjoying the build up to Christmas now. I don't have this big hype with it. I don't start Christmas music until the 1st of December. But we do have Michael Bublé in the car. That is a CD that we have. So if we don't like the radio songs, we put the CD on. And that's kind of our little thing that we do. When it comes to Boxing Day, that is when I take my tree down. So I'm quite early at taking it down. I know lots of people wait until New Year, but I do like it to be done, and I like to get myself ready for the next year. So I like to tidy up. I usually go to the tip on Boxing Day or the next day that it's open, and I get my tree gone and I go around the house and do a bit of a declutter. I just try and utilise that time because I know that that's quiet time when lots of other people are busy and I can just chill at home and do what I want to do. So I quite often make the most of that. Yeah, so I enjoy the reset that comes after Christmas, and I like to goal set and plan my year and see what it's looking like. It's usually when I start booking holidays. I've already started on that one. I'm ahead of the game. But yeah, I like to plan nice things for the next year to get me out of that Christmas hype. So highly recommend that, as to think about what it is you want from the year, how you want it to look, and make it your own. I think after I finish my hot chocolate I might go for a little walk, so we'll go to one of my favourite places for a walk. Before I left I realised it was probably an idea to have some lunch, so pancakes it is. Literally picked the windiest day to come on a walk, and it's very flooded. We've had a lot of rainfall, so yeah, these are the fields. This is one of my favourite places to come for a walk, so I do this quite a lot, and I just find it's nice in those moments when I'm feeling a little bit off. I just go for a walk somewhere, go to my favourite place, my happy place, and then I come back. I think just getting out in nature and kind of appreciating things just gives me a different outlook. That was very much a windy walk, but at least it was dry and it blew the cobwebs away, so I'm glad that I did it. But I'm going to get home now and finish off the day, so I shall be back for more videos soon. Take care, bye.